Have you ever wondered how some people, even the youngest among us, seem to carry the weight of the world with a strength that defies their age? What makes a child, grieving and broken, stand up and say something that shakes an entire nation to its core? Welcome to The Inspired Lens. I'm your host, Silas Lounge. And today, we're diving into a story that is more than just moving. It's transformational. It's the story of an 11-year-old boy who refused to let tragedy define him. Instead, he taught a nation what it really means to be resilient. This is the story of Jayden Mitchell, a name you may not have heard before, but one you won't forget after today. Jayden Mitchell lived in a modest neighborhood on Detroit's east side. If you've ever walked the streets of inner-city Detroit, you'll recognize the spirit, a mix of grit, heart, and hope. Jayden wasn't a straight A student. He didn't make national headlines with sports or science fairs, but he was the kind of kid who made people smile. He was the one helping younger kids cross the street, the one sketching his dreams in the margins of his notebooks. Dreams of being a superhero who could protect everyone he loved. He lived with his mother, Tamara, and his little sister, Layla. Tamara worked 2 jobs, a waitress by day and a janitor by night. But she never missed Jayden's school plays, never skipped bedtime stories, even if she was running on 2 hours of sleep. She raised her kids with this mantra: be kind, be strong, and be the reason someone else believes in good. Then one summer evening, that belief was tested. It was a Saturday. Jayden and his mom were headed to a community fair just a few blocks away. Tamara had just finished her shift and wanted to surprise the kids with funnel cake and some time together. But on the way, as they sat at a red light, a gang altercation broke out nearby. Bullets meant for someone else tore through the air and into their car. Tamara was killed instantly. Jayden was struck in the shoulder. Layla, miraculously, escaped with only minor cuts from shattered glass. In seconds, their world collapsed. Jayden spent 5 days in the hospital, not just recovering from the bullet wound, but from the emotional shock of becoming the head of his household at just 11 years old. And here's what's remarkable. Even in his pain, he kept repeating one sentence to his nurse: "I just want to make my mom proud." The community organized a vigil for Tamara. People brought flowers, candles, posters. Local media covered the story, but it felt like just another tragedy in a city familiar with loss. That is, until Jayden stepped up to the mic. His aunt had tried to talk him out of it. "You don't need to do this, baby," she said. But Jayden insisted. Bandages still fresh, voice quivering but steady, he said, "My mom believed in love, not just for people who love you back. She told me love was stronger than hate. Even today, I still believe her." That clip, recorded on someone's phone, went viral overnight. Celebrities shared it. Activists quoted him. Late-night hosts replayed his words. Jayden became a symbol, not just of tragedy, but of a rare kind of courage. Instead of retreating, Jayden leaned in. He started writing letters to local leaders. He had an idea: a safe space where kids like him could eat a hot meal, get help with homework, and talk to someone who truly listened. He called it Tamara's Table. At first, it was just a name on a piece of paper, but word spread. Donations poured in, volunteers showed up, churches offered space. A local chef even offered to cook meals twice a week. By the end of the year, Tamara's Table was serving 200 meals a week and offering after-school programs, mentorship, and grief counseling. Jayden became its youngest spokesperson, sharing his story at schools and conferences, not to gain sympathy, but to show that healing was possible. Let's take a moment to unpack this. Psychologists define resilience as the ability to adapt positively despite adversity. But what Jayden showed us is something deeper: post-traumatic growth. That's when someone doesn't just survive trauma, they grow stronger because of it. What made Jayden resilient? 1. Supportive relationships. His aunt, his teachers, his community held space for his pain. 2. A purpose beyond himself. Creating Tamara's table gave his grief a direction. 3. The power of storytelling. Sharing his truth allowed him to process, reflect, and inspire. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're blueprints for anyone facing hardship. 2 years after the shooting, Jayden was invited to the state capitol to speak about youth violence. At the end of his speech, he read a letter he wrote to his younger self. "Dear Jayden, I know you're scared, but one day people will say your name and feel hope. Keep going, don't give up. You were born to be more than this moment." There wasn't a dry eye in the chamber. This wasn't just a child who had endured trauma. This was a leader, a healer, a visionary in sneakers and a Spider-Man hoodie. Jayden Mitchell didn't choose his pain, but he chose what to do with it. He chose forgiveness over revenge, community over isolation, action over silence. And in doing so, he taught us all a lesson. Resilience isn't about pretending you're not hurting. It's about loving hard anyway. So if today you're facing something heavy, something that feels too big to bear, remember Jayden, not because he was perfect, but because he was powerful in his vulnerability. Because he reminded us that sometimes the smallest voices carry the greatest truths. If this story moved you, share it. Tell someone about Jayden. Let his legacy keep growing. And if you're on your own journey of healing, know this: you are not alone. You are not broken. You are becoming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay connected with stories that inspire, uplift, and remind us what truly matters. Until next time, keep looking at life through the inspired lens.